All right, guys, we are live, episode 124 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for joining us on a later schedule tonight, a little bit hour late for you East Coasters, about 10 o'clock here. But we got Max Michel Jr. is in the house. What's going on, Max?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's good to have you. It's been a long time.
Yeah, man, it's been a little while, so I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. Steve the Tank Durant's also back with us. What's going on?
What's up? Glad to be here, man. I couldn't miss this show. Max is my homeboy, so I like watching him compete. So having this opportunity is always cool.
What you really want to do is you're shooting Steel Challenge like in a couple weeks, and you want to ask him a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the context,
Right. So Jennifer Seymour's in the house. What's going on, Jen?
Not much. Just another day in paradise.
And Mr. Springfield, Dustin Palouse. What's up?
What's good, guys?
All right. For those of you guys new to the show or just watching and it's been a while, the Q&A section in the bottom left-hand corner of the show is a great way to get your Q&A in for Max throughout the show today. Also on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page, there's going to be a post that already went up where you can use Facebook to get your questions in. All right. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions here for Max, as we always have a ton for him also. All right, show sponsors today is Tactical Shit, shop.tacticalshit.com. Man, they come out with an email blast like every day with like 4 new products. So I mean, it's hard to narrow down what they have because they have everything, like down to like casual shoes. So
the whoopies.
Yeah, so if you want your battle belt and you want to look all Chris Costa and all that stuff, that's a good place to shop and get all that stuff too. So
and the kilt.
Yeah, you can get kilts, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, there's
Did you see the pictures of Red, White, and Ben and his kilt?
Yeah, there's definitely a sexy photo shoot that I was not a part of, and that you guys can check that out on the Tactical Shit Facebook page if you can bleach your eyes later. So.
Right on. We have TechWear USA for the finest jerseys. Competitive shooting jerseys. They got also for you get 1911 guys, you single stack guys. They have the TechWell system, so that's grips and a magwell, and they also have the tack latch for your ARs. It's a charging handle. So they have a lot of great stuff. Check TechWear USA. Also got a really fine jacket where you can put all your logos on if you're in the cold area. Jen's got a fancy one, and she's the only one that has it that I know of right now. It's pretty stellar. All right, and Brett Russo for always being a big supporter of the show. We always want to give him a good shout out at the beginning. We talked about Q&A. Also, the Shooter's Mindset app is now available in the iTunes Store and the Google Play Store. So if you enjoy watching from your mobile device, you can go to those and download it. It's a big help, and it's a very nice app, actually. It's done very well. So, Max, let's jump into this here. I know we're going to have a lot of questions here, so we want to kind of get these out and done quick. Mm-hmm. For those who aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yes, I mean, I've been shooting competitively for a very long time. I got started shooting when I was about 5 years old with my father, and we just kind of traveled around the state of Louisiana quite a bit. And, just shooting, became a passion of mine at a very young age. Since I was probably 8 or 9 years old, I was competing at that time in USPSA and Steel Challenge type of shooting events. And we would shoot 4 days a week at that point. We were shooting 2 matches a week, and we were training twice a week. So we stayed pretty busy. So it just kind of quickly became part of my life. And when I was 17 years old, I joined the U.S. Army and spent 10 years at the Army Marksmanship Unit at Fort Benning, Georgia. It was a great installation, great place to be. It taught me a lot about being a man, taught me a lot about being a person, and also how to be a pro in our sport. And since then, I've moved on and started working for myself and a number of other gun companies that support me. And it's just been a heck of a ride. I've been doing it on my own now for about 7 years with Sig Sauer and a lot of other great folks. And it just gives me the opportunity to do what I love, and it's just, it's a passion of mine. As I mentioned, I get to travel, shoot, compete, meet a lot of folks, but more importantly, get to train and teach and help others that want to get better at what they do, whether it be competition shooting or defending our country. So I'm very blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah, right on. And that's a good thing because Steve just got his kid involved in shooting. A little bit older than 5 years old, but definitely he's getting into it, which is exciting.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's awesome seeing the kids get out there and shoot. It's my boys. My boys are now 10 and 8, and they're both competing as well. So it's just fun to get the kids out there and younger people started in shooting, and more importantly, teaching them about our Second Amendment and teaching them how to really do it the right way, rather than just going and learn from someone else and let them be curious. Teach them how to do it safely, and it's really neat. And a lot of people say, oh, my kids aren't mature enough to shoot yet, and I get that 100%. But I tell you what, firearms is what made me mature at a young age, and I can see it now. My 8-year-old, he's just a ball of energy. He wants to go and run every berm that's on the range. He wants to do all these crazy things and have fun and play football and knock people over. But when that gun's in his hand, it matures the heck out of him real quick, and it's a pretty cool thing to see.
It's awesome.
How's your boy doing so far on that, Steve?
Good, man. We went out actually today, did a little bit of practice, and got him acquainted with some IDPA stuff. He shot his first match actually last Sunday, shot some steel challenge, and he did pretty good for a first timer. He had never actually been in a competitive setting before, so he wasn't at the bottom of the barrel. He ended up probably about 2/3 of the way down, so I was proud. Pretty awesome.
Nice.
Good stuff. That's good to hear, man. And then you got Smith & Wesson U.S. Nationals is coming up, right, Steve?
Yeah,
Max,
man.
are you shooting that?
Yeah, man, I'll be there. Hey, Steve, are you bringing your boy there?
I don't know if he's going to come out or not. He won't be competing in it, considering, like I said, he just shot his first match ever last Sunday. But
Yeah.
he may come out and chill with me. I do pictures. I'll be doing photography again this year.
Okay.
So.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'll definitely see you there. I'm going to get out there, and I'll be training for a couple of days ahead of time, and then, of course, I'll be there the whole week shooting all 3 divisions.
Yeah, I'll definitely make sure I take some time when you're not busy and say hello.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Anytime. Stop by, and we'll chat it up.
Yeah, I will not be there, but there is a Florida State Steel Challenge, and I didn't even want to mention this to Max because if he comes there, he's going to clean house. So at least I might have a chance at something here. So there's a Florida Residents Division, so actually Max won't be able to win that one. So maybe I have a shot there.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like $750. I'm excited for a cash payout, man.
Yeah, it's July, right?
He already knew about it. He's like,
It is.
how
It
long
is
to
July.
get that Florida license in? Yeah.
It is July,
Yeah. I know a guy. There might be
Yeah,
some
man.
people down in New Orleans that can make you some IDs, Max. I don't know.
Yeah. It is in July, yes. It's in Gainesville, Florida. So
Yeah.
looking forward to that one. Smith & Wesson was a little bit pricey for me. I don't want to go out there. I have a state match this weekend, so I figured I'd shoot that instead. But one thing I always wanted to mention, and I get a kick out of this every time I see you in photos and stuff. You're wearing your own autographed hat. I mean, not too many people can do this and pull it off. So I'm figuring, does it give you a boost of confidence, or is there a story behind this?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess the story behind it is I'm real picky with my hats. Like being a bald-headed dude, I need to have a good hat because that's my hair, man. You know what I mean? Like it's got to look right. And so I hooked up with a company down in Alabama when I lived out there when I was working at Fort Benning, and we started putting some stuff together. And SIG wanted to do a hat that they can give away, and it was for NRA show one year, and they wanted to do, basically have a giveaway type thing. So we bought hundreds and hundreds of these, and we gave several of them away, but we have a lot still left over, and they sent them all to me. So yeah, I just rocked that thing, but I'm pretty tired of it. I'm ready to get a new hat. I told them early this year before SHOT Show, I said, we got to get me something else without my signature on it because I look like a NASCAR driver and all my buddies make fun of me.
I always thought it was really funny. I'm like, dude, he's the only dude that's rocking an autographed hat by himself.
Hey, maybe that's what we're doing wrong. Maybe I gotta get a Springfield hat
I
and
was about
just
to
sign it
say.
and then put it on. We'll just all stand there.
You started a
Actually-
new trend. Now everybody's going to be doing it.
That's
That's what we
it.
should just do. Is just we'll stand there and watch you at the SIG booth, just doing your demonstrations with our own autographed hats on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Calling card. Hey, by the way, he's selling these hats now that we're really pushing them hard for like only $49.99. So go to.
That's
go to
right.
Michel. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Let's see. Is there any Q&A jumping? I didn't even open it yet. It could
Let me
be.
pop it.
Let me see.
I didn't see anything yet on there.
All right. I finally opened it. But Steve, what are you doing as far as Smith & Wesson U.S. Steel Nationals? What routines would Max be doing right now? This match is coming up. What is it? 2 weeks now?
About 3 weeks almost, actually.
Okay, so we're 3 weeks out. What routines and before match prep would Max be doing right now for the Steel Challenge Nationals?
What would Max be doing?
Yeah, Max. I said Steve at first, but I don't know. I was
Yeah.
kind of all over the
I was
place.
going to say, I have no idea. Probably something that's a lot better than what I'm doing.
Right. Max, what do you think? What do you got on the routine?
So right now I just really started getting into the steel challenge mode. Years ago I would start 6 weeks out before any big steel match, and I would start working it. But for the most part now, yesterday was day 2 for me. I got through all 8 stages. I try to go through 4 stages a day when I'm training for steel challenge. But yeah, so right now that's the mode I'm in. I'm in the mode of just basically making sure I'm going through all the stages and working all the first shot draws. But one of the important things on Steel Challenge that I think a lot of people, tend to overlook is because it's the same exact event over and over and over and over again. It's very muscle memory like, but it gives you an opportunity to dry fire or visualize. So I spend a lot of time visualizing the courses of fire, and I go through each and every course of fire every night before I go to bed. I try to shoot them perfectly at that, right? Just trying to fool the subconscious mind into believing that I'm doing it over and over again. And I see the range out there and that we're going to be at, and I see all those things. So I guess what am I doing right now? I'm making sure my guns are prepared, making sure everything's ready to go, and just visually being ready, more so than the physical training side of things right now. As I said, I just got through all 8 stages the last couple of days, and it's like I never left it. It's crazy. I couldn't be happier where I'm at right now in my training. I'm drawing the gun as quickly as I did back in November at the Steel Challenge. I'm shooting the courses just as fast. But again, that's not the important part just yet. The important part right now is making sure the guns are running properly, the ammo set properly, all the preparation stuff ahead of time, including the visualization. So that's what I'm up to right now.
Right on. I mean, I kind of learned that the hard way. I know. We shoot these wonderful polymer guns. I know Dustin. We're shooting these. We all are, other than Steve. And it's like, I was like, you don't clean a Glock, right? You don't need to clean it. I'm like, dude, I went out to a match, bombed it, gun malfunctions left and right, but it was a local match, so I considered, hell, this is why you kind of shoot these matches before gear's running. My gun has never been so clean since the day I bought it. I changed out parts in the trigger because I was getting a very weird trigger malfunction, and it was not good. And we finally got it up working. I checked the ammo. I made sure all the ammo is not what's the word I'm looking for, Steve? I put them through the barrel, ran them through a
Chamber
case
check.
gauge. Chamber check. There's the word I'm looking for. So I mean, I've never been so prepped as far as gear wise for a match. Dustin, I don't know, what do you got off of this?
Yeah, no, that's the local matches, and hell, even national matches or state matches like that. I try to take anything from each one I've ever done. Is okay, yeah, I actually had an oversized round in one of my matches, and I had to clear it. Well, guess what? Literally on the way home, I was buying a 6 or 7 whatever chamber checker. Literally, that was shipping right as I was driving home. So I was like, never again. So, little things like that I try to take from everywhere. Local matches to national matches. Tomorrow, it'll be the first match I'm putting on, and the first match I'm shooting technically, I guess, this year. It'll be a local match that I'm putting on in an indoor IDPA match, and but even those, I take some stuff away from it. Hey, is my gun? That's the time to, hey, look, I'm going to shoot 50 rounds tonight, or whatever it is. Is my gun running good? Is my mags running clean? All that. Is my ammo doing all right? So no, it's definitely, you got to do that every single time. But I know for the Steel Challenge, I'm sure you and BJ and Casey and all those guys can close your eyes and just mimic the stage. I'm sure by now, at least.
Yeah, sometimes I have nightmares. I can see it in my sleep,
No,
Max,
stop playing. No.
You said you shoot 4 stages at a time. Are you setting these up in your backyard, going to the range, or is it just all mental?
So this is all at the range, my local range. I'll go out there and I try to shoot a minimum of 4 stages a day when I'm out there, and so I'll set up one and I'll run it, 10, 20 runs, and if I had my own facility and I could have all 8 stages set up, I would just cycle through all 8 constantly after every 5 or 10 runs, but I don't, so I have to set up one at a time, and I have it down to a science. It could set it, I can set it up pretty quickly. So when I do it, but I still want to spend time making sure that I'm, working on the first shot on that particular stage, or if I like to break down the Steel Challenge stages into various sectors. So it might be 2 plates in this sector and 3 plates in this sector, whatever it is. So I'll kind of work on those different things. But yeah, so I'm setting up 4 stages at a time for the most part, and I'll typically get through 500-600 rounds, something like that, in a practice session.
Right, I have a Q&A here from Money Penny. He said, "Are you going to shoot USPSA? Are you going to USPSA Production Nationals? And are you going to do carry optics?"
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. I just got my carry optics guns yesterday, and I had them out on the range, and that's like a whole new world. It's a mixture of, and I was pretty excited about this division from the beginning because it's something, obviously I have a military background, so a lot of guys I've worked with over the years have always had a similar type of a platform that they would be shooting in my training courses and whatnot. But I'm excited about it because I've kind of always been that open shooter at heart. Started shooting a lot of production the last year or two. And now it's kind of like the best of both worlds, and I couldn't believe some of the scores I was shooting with it, in practice, of course, but yesterday, and it's going to be a cool division. I'm excited about it. So yeah, I'll be at the production nationals, and I'll do that part, and then of course I'm going to stay the next day and fire away at the carry optics.
Nice.
There you go. I wanted to throw this out because I actually saw this kind of being debated back and forth. You'll see it on Facebook. What is your opinion on starting an open division and open division making you a better iron sight shooter, or is it just the opposite?
Yeah, so I'm pretty different in that regard. I mean, a lot of guys I know, say, hey, I'm going to master the production division before I move on. I'm going to master iron sights before I move on to the next step. And to me, it's the exact opposite. There's no coincidence that you look at some of the past world champion shooters, like let's say a Travis Tomasi, a Blake Maguez, even now Eric Raffel. I mean, those guys, they came from the open shooting background. Even look at some of what I would consider my kind of the guys I was watching coming up in the game. Ty Jarrett, Rob Latham, Doug Koenig, all these guys. I mean, they're all open shooters, at one time, and they were very dominant with the open gun. So I feel the open gun teaches you a lot. You can learn a lot from it. If you don't want to shoot open because of the cost, I just say put an optic on your production gun, or put an optic on your limited gun just for training purposes. Have a separate upper, because the dot can teach you so much that you're missing with the iron sights. The iron sights, what happens is it's such a large object that it's not easy for the eye to pick up exactly what's happening out there. Where the dot, it's moving around a lot. It's almost like a self-correcting tool. So if my recoil management is not proper, I'm going to see that dot move differently than it would if it was if it was setting up stable more inside that A zone. If my stance isn't wide enough, I'll see the dot kind of coming into that target and moving around quite a bit, waiting for it to stabilize. With my dot gun shooting on the move, you can see a lot of movement of the dot, entering and exiting positions. You see all these things that are happening with the iron sights that you just can't pick up. So in that regard, I think it teaches you a lot. You can learn how to call your shots so much easier with a dot gun. And is it easier to shoot? Yes, absolutely. The open gun is easier to shoot from a recoil management standpoint and a dot standpoint rather than iron sights and having to worry about lining those up with the rear and whatnot. But at the end of the day, everybody I'm competing with, or everybody you're competing with, has the same equipment as you. So it's easier in the sense that you can shoot faster, you can shoot more accurately at a higher rate of speed, but your competitors have the same gear. So it's not like it's a gimme competition. So I have a lot of students that I work with, and they don't own open guns, but I bring one out, and we'll practice with the open gun periodically just so they can see those things and really pick up on what it is from a training value. So yeah, I believe in that. Both of my boys are shooting open in Steel Challenge right off the bat, and at some point I'll switch them to irons, and they'll be competitive in that as well. They're not going to have to relearn anything. They'll already be quick. They'll already be accurate. They'll already have the proper techniques. They just have to worry about finding that front sight at that point.
I have to cut in real quick because I just picked up my first open gun about 3 months ago, and just playing around with it. In fact, the first time I shot at a match was last weekend, and everything that you're saying is so true. Like, you can see such detail on how that dot is moving, and just it clearly shows you where you're having some issues going on for sure. So it's pretty awesome. And then I picked up my iron sights gun today to practice a little bit for fun, and I felt like I was more accurate. Like I just had better stability. So
yeah, it's a self-correcting tool. It's pretty cool. I mean, I shoot, Steel Challenge being obviously one of those sports that you can really see because we can log results and we can log personal best records and whatnot. And I shoot just as fast with my P320 than I do with my 1911 in a lot of the Steel Challenge events for whatever reason. And it's just really neat to see that you can switch to a different platform and be able to rock it the way that we do. And you're learning so much from the dot. You're learning to be able to go at that speed. And when you shoot the iron sights, maybe you have to back it off just a touch here and there. But there's some scores I'm shooting with that's even better than any others. And I truly, attribute it to doing exactly what I just mentioned. Running the open gun as hard as I possibly can, and it's making me better because of it.
Awesome.
What are the challenges that you face with an acceptable sight picture with the irons that you didn't have to do?
Yeah, so that's so me, I have 3 different types of sight pictures that I utilize. It's what I call flash, floating, and focused. And of course, the distance and/or difficulty will dictate how much I'm seeing of those different sight pictures, and the trigger control kind of goes with that too. Whether I'm slapping the trigger or prepping the trigger, all that kind of works with it. But that is the challenge, right? So for me, I'm constantly looking at the target, and superimposing that dot on the target itself. And then when you switch to the irons, well, now you have to be hungry to see that front sight, and you have to get some sort of feedback. So the challenge for me is to see something. There's several times I'll go down range and I'll be surprised with a miss because I just wasn't looking at the front sight, at that time. That was my fault. But there's other times when I can call the shot very clearly and very well, and that's because I am looking at that front sight. So acceptable accuracy to me is seeing something from the front sight, just enough, whether it be that flash, floating, and focused. I'm going to give each target the respect it deserves, nothing more, nothing less, and making sure I'm going to ensure a good hit on target. So looking for that acceptable sight picture is more of a, knowing and understanding what that target is and what you're going to be engaging, and seeing just enough of the clarity of that front sight. And the target may be in focus and the sight may be blurry at times, but at some point, my eyes have to focus back to that front sight, and that's a struggle I have shooting irons. I know by no stretch of the imagination am I the best in the world with a production gun just yet, but I compete at a high level and I do well, and there's things that I want to get better at, and that's one of them. One of them is having that burning desire to see what I need to see. Many times I just kind of go out there and shoot, not necessarily that I'm shooting off of timing, but I am shooting and I'm using my strengths to my advantage. But I can't always run 12 splits with a production gun and expect to hit the target. So I got to at some point see what I need to see. So for me, it is a challenge, and it's just understanding what those 3 different sight pictures are, when to use them, and actually doing it.
Yeah, me starting from the opposite end, being shooting irons for 5 years now. I just got a rimfire open gun with a Seymour, and I'm like, where's the dot? Oh, there it is. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, man, that's the other obstacle.
Guys. So now I got that. I gotta find a dot and figure that all out from like the opposite end of things. But I'm sure, hopefully, I could get into an open gun soon. That way, I can shoot some real courses of fire and not just steel challenge. But let's see where we are there. All right. Quick reminder on the Q&A section, bottom left-hand corner. I see there was a couple that disappeared on me. I think if people back out and I didn't get to it, it'll disappear out of the Q&A section. So if you're watching, just repost those and we'll get them over to Max. On my end, SIG has been making a lot of noise recently, expanding the team, releasing new products. However, they just brought on board one of the best top lady 3-gunners in Lena Michelik. Is she going to be getting Max Michel into 3-gun?
That's why we got her, right? So she can do 3-gun.
Yeah.
You don't want to do 3-gun, Max?
No, I
That's
do.
so fun.
I do. I absolutely do. It's that's what I'm scared of. I'm scared that I'm gonna go and do it and love it, and then I'll have to quit something else, because there's only so much time in the day, and
it
right
is
now,
crack, and it will addict you.
well, that's what I hear, and I mean, I run rifles, periodically in my courses, and I do things, and when I'm done, I'm like, man, that's so much fun, it's like more of a 2-gun style, I guess is what we do, and I'm like, I want to do it, but if and when I do 3-gun, I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to, because I understand there's a learning curve, it's going to take me a while to be able to be competitive. Do I think I can go and do well? Sure, but I want to go and win, and to do that, I know what it takes. I know what those guys in 3-gun, what it takes to do that, because I know what it takes to do it from the pistol side. And I mean, just for instance, Steel Challenge, since that's coming up. I mean, it's crazy because I shoot rimfire, production, and open, and you have multiple guns for that, multiple ammo, multiple holster rigs, and magazines, and it's so much going on already in my world with pistol. I don't think I can handle any more and stay married.
Yeah.
I went to a pistol match like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I don't have enough stuff. I don't have my stuff. I feel like I'm forgetting something because all I had was one gun and ammo and magazines, and I was like, that's all I need, really. Like, I need some shotgun loaders and What about IDPA? You gonna shoot some IDPA? Getting a fishing vest anytime soon?
No, not yet. I haven't done it yet. I'd like to. I'd like to go shoot their nationals at least once or twice just to represent Sig Sauer and be a part of it. But you have
Anthony's
to.
going, no, don't
Yeah, you're good,
come.
bro. Don't worry about it.
Well, the thing is,
Don't worry about it.
IDPA Indoor Nationals was like 2 weekends ago, and KC was in ESP Expert Division.
Uh-huh.
He blew that division out of the water.
Sandbagger.
So I would have been in that division with him. So, but the thing is, he saw it last year too, and he had so many points down, but he was so fast on top of that he was still kind of close up there. He was still up there, but he had so many points down.
Yeah, he's one of those special talents, man. He can. It's funny. I always tell him all the time. I'm like, man, no matter how bad it looks, it's always never that bad for him because he can make up shots, shoot extra shots, shoot bad points, whatever. But his speed's always there, and that's the cool thing about our sport. He's learned to play the game at a very young age, like I did, and you don't have to be the most accurate, you don't have to be the fastest, but if your strength is going quick with somewhat acceptable accuracy, then hey, he can still hang in there and be at the top of the game for a long time. So it's fun. It's fun watching him.
Definitely is. So let's talk about training with Max. You got an event coming up here in Vegas called Max Pro Shooter Experience. I know there's not many slots left in this, but do you want to tell us about this event and how can we get more details on attending?
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. This is something I've been wanting to do for over a year now, and really been thinking about it for a lot longer than that, but kind of started the planning a little over a year ago, and we kind of launched it just last week. But what the Pro Shooter Experience is, and you can find out more on my website, maxmichel.com. From there, it's basically it's a fantasy camp, if you will. So guys fly into Vegas. Once they get into Vegas, everything's taken care of. We have transportation set up. We have lodging set up at the Link, which is in the heart of the Vegas Strip if you've been there before. So it's kind of right there by the new Ferris wheel and all that stuff that's happening right in the middle of the Strip. It's an exciting event. Yeah, the high roller, that's it. Yeah, so it's going to be a really cool event.
Go do that. It's fun.
Yeah, I've never done it, but the deal is, so basically it's going to be myself. Every year I'm going to put this together, and I'm going to have a couple of additional instructors that I bring with me. This year I'm really excited because I have Travis Tomasi, who's been a longtime friend of mine, world champion shooter, and also JJ Ricazza. And if you don't love JJ, then I don't know, man. You probably don't love life, but he's just got that larger-than-life personality, great smile. Is always laughing and joking. So it's a really cool event with the three of us, and each day you're going to spend 3 to 4 hours with one of the instructors, or two actually. You spend the day with two instructors at the time. But it's more than just instructional purposes. You're going to spend several hours with us learning and whatnot. But it's also an event where there's only 18 attendees, so it's a very, very private event, and during this time we're giving away 5 guns or so, a few SIGs, and we got a couple other pistols kind of in the works. Excuse me, one second, guys. My dog's about to join this conversation. Get her out. Can you please just take her?
No worries. It's. I think there was. Well, I was talking to Max this morning about it. There's one slot I believe still available in this. So, yeah, you're thinking 3 instructors, 18 students, that's almost a personal training session.
And that's the whole thing. It's a VIP experience is the way we're treating it. Everything's taken care of, from food. It's just going to be a great event. And not only are we going to be having so much fun on the range, shooting and learning and being together, you're going to rotate with groups of 6 people at a time. So you're right, you're going to get a lot of one-on-one time. But we're also going out on Friday evening. We're going to do what I'm calling extreme go-kart racing, and that's where we're going to be going 40 to 50 miles an hour racing on the kart. And you're going to have a practice round, a qualifying round, and then we're going to basically narrow it down. Hey, heads up, you'll be going for first place at the end. Hoag's going to be there. Hoag's giving away a really cool EX02 knife, which is one of my favorite knives right now. It's going to be engraved with the Pro Shooter Experience logo. And afterwards on Saturday, we're going to be doing a machine gun shoot where we'll be blowing up watermelons with tannerite, and we're going to have a blast. We're going to have our own private match there on Sunday. So it's just it's one of those things that everybody, we're just going to enjoy the heck out of it. We have a lot of social activities put together, great training put together, and lots of giveaways. Just for showing up, guys are going to roll in there and grab a duffel bag with more than $1,000 worth of gear, and good gear too. Not just stuff that you're not going to use. It's going to be a lot of great gear in the bags, and it's going to be a fun experience, social activities, but a lot of learning going on as well.
I want to go now.
That's some better odds of something than the blackjack table right there, man. And
Well, yeah, that's what I
Do you
wanted.
just
I
make this
wanted.
around SHOT Show when I'm already out in Vegas instead of like making 2 trips
I
to Vegas?
know, really.
I know. It would be cool. We actually only have one spot left, so I'm really excited. Uh, I mean, I couldn't be happier. I feel like the guys that I surrounded myself with for this event for the first one, it's special. But myself, Travis, JJ, we kind of have that open production, limited thing covered, and we'll be able to do a lot. I mean, and those two guys are some of the best ambassadors, if not the best ambassadors in our sport. So I couldn't be happier to team up with them and make this happen.
You gonna come do an East Coast one?
Hey, if this thing works out and it's successful, why not? Yeah, we'll bring this thing all around.
I
That'd
mean,
be
it's sold out in like a
Wow.
few days.
great. I'll tell you this though, it's a lot of work. It's consuming a lot of my life right now. But I just want it to be perfect. I want the guys to enjoy it. I want them to have a blast. And I already have some ideas for next year to do multiple ones around the country, and I'm looking forward to doing that too. I don't want to give away my ideas just yet, but I got another cool one in mind for next year.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Dustin, you have a few Q&A?
Yeah, I know. Probably Land's ears were burning since we were talking about dissonant arms in the pre-chat. So he was asking about the pro experience, but then he was also saying when you're going to get into a 3-gun. So I know all the big dogs are running some dissonant arms Vepers. So I mean, you could be a baller in the open class still.
Okay.
And just run a Veper.
We'll have to get Land hooked me up.
Yeah.
He said they try to get you to shoot a 3-gun match. I think you're out there training before the match, and I think it's one of those. I think if he doesn't want to dabble because he doesn't want to get hooked and then have to drop something. He's one of them dudes that are going to put all he's got into that one game, I think. So, I mean,
I just got a text. Tell Land I just got a text from Mike. That's his buddy there. He says, save me the last spot on your pro shooter experience.
Hey, Mike, get back to work, damn it. You're supposed to be doing some stuff. Yeah. As a distant arm shooter, I will take his last spot. It's okay.
Don't
worry about it.
Hey, those guys are serious, man. I worked with Mike and Lan a couple years back, and then I worked with Mike again last year. It's really cool to see the 3-gun guys. They come over and they just want to learn pistol from me because in my courses, unless it's like LE and military style courses, I don't really run anything other than a handgun, and that's kind of my specialty, obviously. So it's an honor to get those 3-gun guys to come out and work with me, and it's cool to hear the stories like Mike and Lan and those guys, and they take what I do in the pistol world and kind of translate it to the rifle and shotgun as well, and it's cool. It's cool to see my system kind of working in 3-gun.
Yeah, no, I squad with those boys all the time. I've been friends with them for many years, and they make the best communist stuff on the market. So.
Steve, you're up.
Yeah, I had a question. I saw recently that the new P320 target's going to be, I guess, officially released at the upcoming NRA show. Tell me about that gun a little bit, and is that something that you think that you'll switch over to? I don't know if that'll be production legal or not. So
yeah, it'll be production legal for sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to switch to it just yet because I'm kind of liking the one that I have, but I assume it's going to be something I'm going to want to do because basically what I did was I took our 320. And last year I kind of ran some rounds through it, obviously, and did a lot of changes to it. And I presented those changes to the company and showed them what I did. And so essentially the 320 target, the 320 target is pretty much what we're already doing, is pretty much what I'm already running. Only the biggest differences are the grip module is completely different, which it's way easier to reload now, which is awesome. The grip angle is even better than what it is already. And then the other big change is going to be it's a 5-inch gun, so it goes from 4.7 to 5-inch. Because mine already has the fiber optic front sight, the adjustable rear sight, the super short reset, lighter trigger, all those things that this gun's already going to have. So the biggest differences for me is the grip and 5 inches. So I do want to see, because in theory, right, the 5-inch should be easier to shoot, should be more accurate, those things. So I'm definitely going to run it and give it a shot. But I'm more excited than anything else about the grip module, because my thing is I've always wanted to make the 320 heavier. I work with the guys at SIG a lot, obviously, in the earlier phases with this, and I remember talking with the CEO at one point and saying, he's like, hey, what do you think of the gun? I love it, but I have to give my feedback as well, and it was always the reset. The reset for me just wasn't fast enough, and then we fixed that reset, and then the next thing was, okay, I want this gun to have softer recoil. I want it to be a flatter shooting gun, so I was looking for something a little heavier, whether it be aluminum style grip or a steel grip. But the cool thing, what they came up with is this really neat grip module, which, by the way, you can purchase for $50 or whatever it is and drop it into your existing 320, which is an unbelievable thing. But we're going to put weight inside the grip. So and when we present it to USPSA, I don't want to put my kind of words in our guy's mouth, but the way I think we're going to do is we're going to present it to USPSA at the heaviest weight, and then you as the shooter, as the end user, you just decide which weight you want to put in it. If it has a tungsten sleeve in whatever it's going to be inside the grip module, well, you can take it out, or you can put in a lighter weight if you want to, whatever the case is, and that should put that weight in the hand almost like a steel frame gun or aluminum frame gun, and soften up that recoil and make it a little bit easier to shoot as well. So the 320 target is going to be really cool, and I'm excited about it. I don't have one yet. Phil Strader is actually working for 6 Hour now, and that's his #1 mission. Every day his job is to go to work and make the P320 better. So I'm pretty excited to have him on board to do that for us.
The one thing you didn't mention, though, that intrigues me the most, because both the CZs that I compete with have flat triggers. So a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a flat trigger guy, and that was one of the meetings I had with them a long time ago on the 320. I wanted to make sure it was a flat trigger. From a personal preference standpoint, I prefer the flat trigger because from a speed shooting standpoint, whether I'm pressing my finger on that trigger high, center, or low, I'm going to get a consistent push straight back to the rear, and it feels good on the hand as well. Some of the other guns that you shoot out there, you might get a callus on the bottom of your trigger finger if you're shooting it frequently, by having that hook kind of coming underneath your finger. But having that flat bar, it works really well for speed shooting, and I kind of presented that and told them that I was looking for that as well. So it's cool to see them kind of put those things in, at least not just me. I'm not saying I'm taking all the credit for this, but there's a lot of shooters out there who ran a P320 all year for us last year, and we get all that feedback from everyone. And as big of a company as SIG is, it's really cool to see them listen to the little guys, listen to us, the end users, and say, this is what we want, this is what we need, and to kind of see it come together in the 320 target. I'm excited because we're going to do a 320 max at some point as well, so it's going to be very similar to the target model, just kind of have my little twist on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, every time at SHOT Show, we see each other. I'm like, there's some new product with 6 coming out. I'm like, dude, it's gonna take over production division. He's like, no, we're working on it. It's getting there. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a great gun, but we're working on it. So I appreciate his honesty, and I said this in a couple past shows that, like, you're one of the nicest dudes I probably met in the industry as far as competitors, right? And I think I referenced that I felt that I could have. Max could have been shooting a stage, and I could say, hey, Max, can I borrow that gun right off your holster right now? And he'll be like, sure, man. He'll clear it and be like, here you go. I'm sure that's not the case, but that's the way I feel.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Dustin, you have a couple Q&A, right?
Yeah, actually, going back to kind of talk about the optics and the carry optics and the open class shenanigans. So I'm one of those guys that is an iron class shooter, shooting all production guns and stuff like that, SSP, ESP. Now on the micro little CCP guns now, but of course all my 3-gunners are tugging at my sleeve, trying to get me over into that. So I was just like, screw it, I'm just jumping in the fire, going to go open class. Just straight
Okay.
doing it. So I'm going to go shoot some USPSA. Now, Ruben and the boys over at Vortex, even smells like Thin Mints, got me a nice little the Venom, the new little red dot from them. Now, this is a 3 MOA. So I was gonna run either the carry optics and then eventually for an open class gun. So what MOA are you running on a carry gun versus a open class gun? That kind of thing. Give me some guru.
Yeah, so typically I try to keep my MOA from anywhere in the range of 6 to 8 for what we do. In any application from what we're running, whether it be Steel Challenge, USPSA, IPSC, all that stuff, even 3-gun, I would be running the same thing. I'm talking from a pistol standpoint now, because I feel that if it's less than 6, it's almost too small, and the dot gets easily washed out with the sunlight. So if you're trying to put your dot onto a large white steel target that's blinging the sun right off of it, it can just gets washed out pretty easily. So a 3-minute gives you the ability to be super accurate, but I'm not sure how much you need to use that 3-minute dot 20 meters and in, basically. So six is kind of a good happy medium for me that I found. I'm still able to make really accurate shots in IPSC and USPSA, but I go up to the 8-minute dots in Steel Challenge because, again, the targets are so white and so big. I need that red dot to really really get to my eye at a high rate of speed rather than trying to look for it and letting it get washed out. So I don't know what the other guys are running that I'm competing against, but I'm running 6s and 8s pretty much the whole time.
On both on slide mounted optic versus like a mount optic?
Correct.
Same
Yeah,
optic on everything?
it's gonna
Cool.
be it's gonna be the same. Correct.
There you go, man. Some good stuff. I have some here from Moneypenny. He says, I've taken classes with both Max and Travis, and both are phenomenal instructors. Where can folks find out where these classes are available?
Yeah, I appreciate it, Steve. Man, it's been a long time since I've seen you, and yeah, so my classes, I really don't advertise them. I mean, so if guys want to shoot with me, want to train with me, typically what they can do is just go to my website, maxmichel.com, and they can send me an email from there or a training request, and at that point I send them a list of all where my classes are and if there's any slots still available to do that. Because basically what happens is if somebody contacts me from wherever, let's say from Texas, and they say, hey man, I want to do a course. And I say, okay, well, if you want to set up a course, let's make it happen. This is what it takes to set it up. And they usually have a group of 10 or 12 shooters already in mind that's local that want to take the course, and that's kind of how it happens. But there are spots that are still available throughout the country, so I just ask that if guys are interested. And again, I really don't advertise. Everything I do is word of mouth. But if guys are interested, they can just contact me via my website, send me an email, and I'll shoot them out a list of what available slots we have left.
Good stuff there. Jen, you got to take a class. What's going on here?
I want to take a class.
I want to take class too. I could easily set up about 10 or 12 guys for a South Florida match.
I do want to take one, really, seriously. Yeah.
Well, I may be the coordinator for a large indoor facility in St.
You're
Louis.
too far away. St. Louis is forever away from me. East Coast, baby. East Coast, not middle.
Tell you what, we can set up a course, man. We can do it and give away a free slot on the Shooter's Mindset one night. That'd be cool.
Right on.
Boom.
Oh. Dustin, you got to set that up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Alrighty. You heard it there. We're going to jump into the lightning round, kind of lighten up the mood. I know Steve's probably got some questions regarding some open stuff too. But lightning round, kind of silly stuff. One of the other type of fun questions. If you could choose one to wear, is it a battle belt or a tactical vest?
Talking to me?
Yeah, these are all for you.
Oh, gotcha. I'm gonna go battle belt.
Yeah, I think that's the more popular. It's
Tinkus owes me money.
yeah, battle belt. MMA or boxing? If you had to watch one forever and only one.
MMA.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree. In a restaurant, white bread or wheat bread? Jeez, white bread.
Depends on the time of the year. If I can get away with it, I'm going white bread. But if I'm training, I'm going wheat bread.
There you go. Good question. Good answer there. Jack Daniels or Jameson? I know you don't drink. But
I don't, but if I did, a guy I was training with this last weekend was all about the Jameson. So if I don't say Jameson, he's gonna be all over me.
Yeah, that seems to be the popular one. Let's see. Thin Mints or Samoa? Girl Scout cookies here.
I'm not gonna go either of those, man. I'm gonna have to go like some sort of, I don't even know the names anymore, but shortbread cookie, I think. Shortbread cookie I like, and I'm into peanut butter, so I might go that route too.
Shortbread? Yeah, shortbread's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Key Mod or M-Lock? It's kind of the rifle stuff on this. Tactical Timmy's kind of get.
I don't play with the rifle stuff enough to really know. I'm pretty much rocking just our 5.16 or M400 in my courses. So I'm gonna leave that one to the rifle guys.
Right, and I'll just say Key Mod. I don't know. Forward assist or no forward assist? So you were a military guy. I know a lot of military guys. I don't know what. There was a story behind the military made a Eugene Stoner put in the forward assist, but it was really never part of the design. Have you ever used it in military training, or what's the deal with the forward assist on the AR?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't really mess with ARs enough to really kind of give any feedback or expertise on them. I mean, I'm pretty much just rocking whatever's on, an M16 or whatever I'm issued at that point, or M400, 5.16 from SIG, those kinds of deals. So again, I'll leave it to the rifle guys for that.
Now I'm going to say no forward assist. It's unnecessary, all right?
I want to put him on the hot seat just for a second, based off of the post I had earlier on Facebook where Anthony put his 2 cents in. But you don't want to answer this, you don't have to, Max. But we go on. Would you, if you had to? Let's say SIG just disappeared from the face of the earth magically, like that show The Leftovers. Glock or CZ?
Uh-oh.
We know
You are
where
going
you're
to put me
going.
on the hot seat.
I
You
would,
are going to put me on the hot seat.
I would think
Okay.
CZ because he's a 1911 guy. It just,
Yeah, I'm gonna if you put me on the hot spot, and hey, this is the shooter's mindset, so yeah, I can do it, right? We can play fantasy for a second here. Yeah, if there's no more 6 hour and I had to choose one or the other, Glock or CZ, I mean, I'll say this: I own more CZs than I own Glocks, so that'll answer that.
there you go. I'll take it. Brandon Wright said, "Tell Max I said hi."
Hey, what's up, Brandon? Good to see you, man. We're good to hear from you anyway.
And speaking of this, I know we're gonna kind of cut the lightning round short on this, but Brandon Wright posted up he does a post on his make ready routine, right? And I posted it's a diva make ready routine because he goes up, he gets his first sight picture right, he racks the slide, he puts the mag in, racks one, then he pulls the mag out, checks if one's stripped off, then he does another press check, puts it back in. It's 3 press checks. And his make ready routine. I'm like,
Hey.
dude, that's the most diva stuff. I know. I've seen some crazy stuff out there. Max, you got your own routine, or you go up and you come down on the gun. You know, everybody's got their own little thing.
Right, everybody's got their thing, and he probably doesn't even know he does it. That's the funny thing. He's just doing it. It's either it's something that's really clicking his subconscious mind into saying, "Hey, this is go time. It's time to happen. I need your best performance right now." He probably doesn't even know he's doing it, but it's funny, yeah.
Did y'all see
There's
what he
the best
posted
one.
tonight?
Is,
Tonight he posted draw to first shot 0.9 seconds, and it was a 75-yard pistol shot.
Yeah, he likes to do the playing around stuff. I try to get involved in those. It's just those guys are like so good, and then everybody tags like Keith Garcia in there, and then it just gets ruined.
yeah, and then social media like challenges, and then Keith gets in and then just screws it up for everybody.
So it's always fun to battle the pros and stuff. I ask Brandon a lot of stuff when it comes to technique and stuff. But there we go, lightning round. We're good on that. Steve, any stuff you got on your end?
Not really. I mean, I thought it was awesome that you stepped into production last year and just obliterated. That was really cool. So I wanted to just throw that out there at Steel Nationals again here in beautiful sunny Florida.
Yeah, that was cool, man. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it.
And I was going to mention that, kind of was a little chip on my shoulder to be asked for help from the great Max Michel when he locked himself out of his case last year. And he's like, dude, you got a pair of pliers? I am completely locked out of my case here. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Oh, yeah, dude, I remember. I'm always in a rush to do everything in my life, man. There's nothing easy, it's always rushing to the next thing, and while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about the next thing, and after that, what's going to happen, and yeah, I happened to take off without my damn keys to my gun case, so had to break into the gun case there.
But you got it.
I'm good. I got it.
I had a similar thing with Nils. He flew over, his pistol case was locked with all the locks on them, and he left the keys at home. So we had to take a trip to Lowe's and get some lock.
Didn't Jessica get blamed for that somehow?
Yeah, we blamed her for it, but it was pretty much Nils' fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember Jessica getting blamed.
Yeah. All right, I got one here. For someone so accomplished in competitive shooting like you are, is there any future goal set? I mean, maybe production division, world title. I mean, what do you have?
Yeah, I mean, just more of the same. I want to keep doing more of the same. Obviously, a lot of my goals are based around the production division right now because of the company that I work with and being Sig Sauer and the new P320. That's a big drive in what we're doing as a company. So currently, right now, my goals, and the reason why I kind of switched to the P320 is I really wanted to be the world champion, obviously, and IPSC world champion. I've been kind of going after that for a long time, and I felt like it was finally my turn. I needed to, some kind of way make that happen. So. And I promised myself, because Sig, that's a cool thing about being with Sig Sauer and the CEO and all the people that I work with there. They're just great folks. They want me to be me. They could care less if I'm first place or seventh place, as long as I'm doing it with a smile and I'm representing the company the right way. But I took it upon myself to take on the production division because I felt like it was the right thing to do for them. They stood by me. They supported me through my kind of goals and dreams of being that IPSC world champion. And now I'm making that right to them by playing around in the production division. So. Currently, my goals last year was to obviously win the production division, which I did not do in the USPSA side of things. But I I didn't put enough time into it. When you're shooting all these other guns and disciplines, I didn't put enough time into it to earn that. You know, the guys who won that, they earned it. They shot better than me, and it was their time. But I did put a lot of time into the Steel Challenge. So the Steel Nationals, I won the production division with the P320, but more importantly, I won iron sights overall against STIs and all the other 1911 guns. So that was a really big deal for us. It kind of went under the radar. But then later on in the year, in November, the Steel Challenge rolled around, and again, I won with the P320, set the new world speed shooting record, and again, I won against all the other iron-sighted shooters out there, custom 1911s and everything put together. So that was a really big goal of mine from that standpoint, to show what the P320 was capable of. And now this year, it's just it's kind of catapult off of that and keep running the P320 as much as I can. And yeah, at some point, I would love to be a multi-division, world champion, but I'm just going to keep on doing my thing and keep growing my brand. As I always say, I keep trying to separate myself from my peers, not just on the gun range, but also on the business side of things. So I enjoy the sport. I want to be here for as long as I can. Ultimately, the goal is to be the next Rob Latham, right? To be there and to be with one company for 20 years. That's kind of the deal. I feel like I'm on my way to doing that.
You do know that you're going to have to get 2 new knees then, right?
Yeah, and maybe another hip too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to be probably 2 of you. So and that's why I'm small and I'm fast. That's why I can say these things, because then I can run away from Roger.
You can run away. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let him catch you though.
Yeah, he's an angry bear when he catches you.
I have one here from Rumble Strip. He said, Dustin, I run a 3 MOA Seymour STS for carry optics gun. Ryan built for him. But I'll agree with Max, 3 MOA is a bit small.
Well, then, Ruben's getting a text message after this, so.
Returning it. Yeah.
Max said,
Max.
do it again.
Ruben's going to be sick of you, Dustin.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, oh, God, Dustin again.
I just like Max said, this is what I need.
Yep.
Make it good.
Send me another one. Yeah, what?
No, what you need to say is Max said you would give me one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he wouldn't be the first to drop my name, I'm sure, and get a free product,
Yeah.
I hear it all the time, dude. It's so funny. I have like close buddies of mine. They're like,
Seriously?
yeah, man, it's crazy. Because I don't even ask for free stuff. No, like I don't even ask for free stuff. It's like if my dad wants something, of course I'm gonna try to hook him up, but I'll have buddies and be like, yeah, I called Seymour and I told him, we were friends. I'm like, dude, don't do that, man. Just like talk to me if you want something. Don't be throwing my name around, because then they're not gonna hook me up when I need it.
Yeah. Yeah, we just gave your buddies like 7 optics, Max. We're all out for you.
Exactly.
No more left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't get any of those?
Yeah, they said it was for Max.
Yeah. Another one from Moneypenny here. What base pads do you use on 320 mags? I'm trying to get set up while Bruce Gray is working his magic on my gun.
Yeah, so Springer Precision up in Oregon, I think, or Washington, somewhere's up that way in the Northwest.
Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon, that's it. So he's... I kind of helped, him kind of set him up. Yeah, Scott Springer, he kind of hooked me up with those. So I'm running those currently. And he also put some weighted inserts in there for me, so they will drop a little bit faster from the mag or from the mag well. But so ask him about those, because with his base pad and the SIG stock plates, I was finding that they would sometimes come off. So I wanted him to give me something that was a little bit longer in depth to make sure the plate, the base pad was actually going to stay on, but also add a little bit of weight to the gun in the grip where I think the 320 needs it. So I've been using that, so they're working really well. Another good friend of mine, and Steve, you probably know him as well, is Henning Wahlgren, longtime shooter years ago, and now he's I think it's called the Henning Group or something like that out of Colorado. But he just started doing some 320 base pads. Taran Tactical is going to be running some base pads pretty soon. So there's a number of base pads and parts that are getting out there now for the 320, which is exciting. But I can speak, for the Springer Precision pads, and they've been running great for me.
Nice.
Yeah, Scott's a good dude. I run all of his base pads for my IDPA, my CCW stuff. So just solid base pads, and he's been making Springfield Sparks for a long time. So I know.
That's right. Yeah.
That's where I was like, "Ooh, you make goodies and stuff? I like goodies and stuff." So,
Yeah, one of the people who took Springfield on.
Hey, that means he's a genius.
Yeah.
Scott Springer's a saint.
Indeed. All right. Let's see. What do we have? We could go discount corner. We talked about tactical shit earlier. Shop.tacticalshit.com. TSM10 save you 10% off your entire order. The hotness is they have some S3F solution Glock barrels. I believe what are they just doing for Glock barrels now? S3F, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right now. And they just
those are
got
the hotness.
some of them back in stock. That was the big thing. They were out of stock for a long, long time. And I know Chris Naganuma, he better be getting his butt back to the machine and cranking out some new ones. So, yeah, they just got all those in, and then they pretty much just went out. I know I had a few people come by and from locally here in St. Louis, and they were like, "Yeah, we saw the show, and yeah, we went over there and got them, and they were awesome." So decked out.
There it is. 10% off saves you anything over at tacticalshit.com. Shop.tacticalshit.com for your Dewey rods, your cleaning needs, for your AR rifles, AKs. They have it for 22s. It doesn't matter. DeweyRods.com. TSM 15 saves you 15% off anything you purchase over at DeweyRods.com. We talked a little bit about some base pads. Terran Tactical Innovations. They just came out with a Glock 43 plus 3 base pad. I think they're doing pre-orders for them. TSM 10 can save you 10% off those base pads if you want to plus up on your micro size 9mm, which is very popular to do. You could get 10% off on those. Tactical, they're really focusing hard on AR accessories right now. TSM 10 saves you 10% off on that. Dustin, what do you have?
I got use Dustin1 on comptech.com, comp-tac.com. That'll be all your great holster needs, mag pouches, inside the waistband, outside the waistband. I'm wearing mine right now, my MTAC with my little XDS in there. Boom, concealment, best thing around. So use Dustin1 for that.
Right.
Then for all of your X products needs, I'm running the side charger and 3-gun. I'm going to be running the side charger 9mm here soon once I get my quarter circle 10 lower in. And you can use Dustin 10 to get 10% off on any of your X products goodies there.
Jen, you have one?
Samson Manufacturing. You can get 10% off at samson-mfg.com for all of your AR-15 needs. Love their scope mount, DMR. It's awesome. I don't talk nearly as long as Dustin.
Steve, you got anything on the fly that I didn't know about?
No, nothing right now. I can tell you that once czforum.com gets our retail online store open, I'll be coming with all that.
Right on. Max, any autographed hats discounted? Anything on your end?
Yeah, if anybody's watching the show, just shoot me an email on my website or via Facebook, and I'll get you guys whatever you're looking for, a hat, Max Michel shirt, whatever it is. Usually, if you guys hit me up as well, I do have some 8x10 photos if somebody wanted something like that for their shop, or if you're an elite SIG dealer and whatnot, we can get you something to put in your shop as well. So pretty much only goodies I have is Max Michel branded apparel and hats and photos. So if anybody's interested, just reach out to me. I'll hook you up.
There you go. That'll do it. What do I got? Yeah, and I got also Fort Mill Munitions, teamfmm.com TSM5 for your ammo needs. They're only doing pistol stuff right now. And like we mentioned in the pre-chat, they're going to be doing a specific load for the pistol caliber carbine stuff. So fast velocities, stuff coming out of a rifle 9mm.
I have to hit him up with that stuff. That's some good stuff.
Yep, indeed. All right, yeah. And I think that any Q&A, or we're good? I got one more on my list. That's an important one I want to ask.
There's one on Facebook, and I got another one.
All right, we'll do mine, then we'll hit any Q&A, and then we'll wrap it up here. So I brought this question over from the last week's show, and I think it's really relevant to ask you also. Having a full-time job, a family, a wife, is it possible to become a world-class pistol shooter? Like that A-class guy, B-class, C-class, it doesn't even matter. They want to win a national level, maybe even a world championship. What do you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely possible. When I was spending my time in the Army, yes, I was a full-time shooter, professional shooter, but I mean, we had a full-time job as well as a soldier, and that's where I started winning the national championships, was back in '04. So, and you look at other people out there that are doing well. One name that comes to mind is Bruce Pyatt. I mean, he's a full-time, and I know he's retired now, but he was a full-time law enforcement guy, and he was competing at a high level against a lot of good guys in three-gun, pistol, whatever it might be. So there's several people out there that can, that can make this happen, but it takes extreme dedication. And when I get to go home and hang out with my kids, that's when those guys need to be going out on the range and putting in the extra work, because they were working a 9-to-5 job all day, where I was in the gym and on the range while they were working. So it definitely becomes more difficult to make it happen. But can it happen? Most definitely it can. But like I say, it takes dedication. Obviously, everyone knows that. But I think the thing that sometimes people forget, is that you need to make sure every one of your loved ones knows what your goals are. Your boss at your job knows what your goals are, because everybody needs to be pulling in the same direction as you. If you're, for instance, going to the range, you just finished a full 9 hour day at the office, and now you're heading to the range because you got a couple hours of daylight left, and your wife calls you and says, "Hey, you were supposed to go pick up the kids today. Where are you? Where you're at? The kids are little Johnny's at school waiting for you," and then everything's torn out, or blown up, and you got to now go to the school, and you miss out on training, and of course it's causing all these heartaches on your family. So I'll just say this is, build a plan, have a year-long plan. What matches you're going to shoot, what days you're training, what you're going to be training specifically, how much ammo you're going to need for this month, whatever it is. Break it down in a year calendar, a quarterly calendar, a monthly calendar, weekly, daily, and it changes constantly. You're constantly showing your loved ones, your boss, as I mentioned, whoever it is. You have to make a plan, stick to it, rather than just saying, "Yeah, I want to be a national champion." Well, to do that, you're going to have to go against, and better yourself, other than guys and gals that are actually doing it full time for a living and treating it as a true sport and an athlete. And that's a tough thing to do. But again, if you can get others involved in your goals and your dreams, it's a little bit easier to make it happen.
Good answer.
Yeah, that's really well said. Yeah, and I can learn from that myself. So that's for sure. I kind of just do what I want. And sometimes I don't.
I do what Sagan tells me. That's what I say.
That's a good answer. Yeah. All right. Any of the Q&A? I think, Dustin, you had a couple lined up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Jen, go.
there was one on Facebook, another one from Lan. He wants to know, who were your shooting idols growing up?
So, being obviously a U.S.-based guy, back then it was Ty Jarrett, Rob Latham, Jerry Barnhart, Doug Koenig, Jerry Michelek. Those are kind of the names that, I remember back in the day. There's several others too. I don't want to, leave anybody out, but those are my shooting idols. I looked at guys that way. They were kind of like my Michael Jordan. Yeah, I wanted to be a football player, a basketball player, a baseball player, but that just didn't happen for me. But so those guys were kind of like my Michael Jordan growing up. They were my idols. And it's something cool that I've heard before, and I say periodically is, you keep training until your idols become your rivals. And that was a really scary thing one day when I found myself. It was the 2003 Nationals, I think, going into the last stage, and I had an opportunity to win that match. Or I was 90. It was actually the 2000 Nationals. I had a chance to win that match in the last stage. I'm looking across at Jerry Barnhart and Ty Jarrett, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here, man. So nonetheless, I lost that match because they were still my idols at that point. And I made a conscious effort and decision after that to to do my own thing, and winning started to happen for me. But those are my guys growing up, I guess, and those are the ones that kind of set the tone for me. You look like guys like Travis Tomasi, J.J. Racaza, the guys now, KCU Sabio, a lot of those guys now in the sport, and several others, maybe they're kind of idols of others that are just coming into the game. And they carry themselves the way that they should as well. So I'll just say this, those guys are my idols coming up, and I study the heck out of them. I wasn't fortunate enough to really take any courses with any of them. I'm very much self-taught, but I spent a lot of time watching and critiquing their videos. You break down a guy like Ty Jarrett, the way he moves and the way he transitions, back in the mid to late 90s, pull up some of those videos. It's pretty cool to watch. So I wanted to have Todd's movements and transitions, as well as Travis Tomasi. Todd and Travis, I wanted their movement abilities. I wanted Jerry Barnhart's just fierce competitor. I just wanted to be able to focus the way that he did, and I wanted to be able to win the way Rob did. I mean, he knew how to win. He was a smart shooter. So you put those things together, and you can make one heck of a shooter, and that's what I tried to do over the last 15 years or so.
Yeah, well, you got Jerry Barnhart came back 2 years ago at Steel Nationals. You were able to get him.
Yeah,
He
I
had a
was scared
huge
to
EOTech
death.
on his gun. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
man.
no one expected that.
That's his
So,
old school EOTech he shot for years, but I tell you what, he came back, and I had a great match that day. But man, he shot awesome. It was really cool to see that fierce competitor come back out, and it was a scary thing to see him across the range.
right on. And the video Steve took of you, I believe it was 2014 U.S. Nationals. There was a stage. I don't know if you remember the two stages that he shot. I think you got him two stages. But at the very start of the video, you're coming up on this on a steel plate. You're getting the first shot. When you transition, you missed it in 2 runs.
Hmm.
And then I watched it slowly, and then you started on the one you were missing, transitioned to the one you were hitting, and then so you pretty much changed the way you shot it right there because you missed twice and had to make it back up. Is that something it's on the fly, or is that something you just figured would work for that to getting a better time at that time?
Yeah, exactly. So, when I'm in that box at Steel Challenge or anything in particular, if something's not going my way, especially Steel Challenge, if something's not going my way, there's certain things that I do, whether it be my body position, the target engagement, as you mentioned, or changing my mindset completely in the box. I do that. So, for instance, just yesterday, training on the range, I was having a great practice session. Things were going well, but I put myself in a situation and said, okay, now what if? What if this doesn't happen? What if this doesn't go well? What am I going to do now? So I started shooting the courses of fire a couple of different ways. Just because in that situation, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what's best for me at that moment. I always say, you are who you are at that moment. I won 6 steel challenges. That's awesome. That's great. But what happens today if I'm, and all those things worked well, but today what I did yesterday doesn't matter. It's what you do right now, and who you are right now. How are you feeling? Are you sick? Are you not seeing things as clearly as you typically do? Or not seeing things as fast as you typically can or accustomed to. Those are the things that I have to listen to my body, watch the sights, and read the sights, and it'll dictate what I do. If I'm missing one particular plate to the right each time, well, I'm going to adjust my foot position because the Steel Challenge is such a repetitive game. If you're not set up exactly the same way each and every time, that muscle memory, you're going to be shooting in between plates. That makes a difference. So I change things on the fly, but it's not just for the heck of changing it. It's changing it because maybe there's something that I'm seeing in the site that's telling me I'm slightly off one way or the other.
Thanks, Anthony, for telling him I posted video of him missing. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, I miss a lot, dude. I miss a lot. I'm the first to tell you. I just miss really fast. That's all I got to do.
Nothing like getting thrown under the bus, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, but I'm sure he still probably won that stage or was damn near close to winning it. So I mean, I've seen that video like 3 times, right? And then actually when I go back to watch it, that's the first time I've seen it. Like you change it, and you started with that place that you actually missed. So and then from there on, it was pretty much ding 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 all the way through. So
Ding,
interesting
ding,
stuff.
ding.
Ding 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 all the way through. That's how fast it sounds too. It's like,
Like
ding,
a
ding, ding,
country music song when you're like,
ding. Yeah, and it's over. All right. Tip on what do I have here? Actually, I know I'm feeding off my own question here, but a single piece of advice you would give a new or seasoned shooter to improve their game, and maybe they only have an indoor range to practice at. What's your favorite drill for these situations?
Yeah, it's perfect. That's all you need, man. I grew up on an indoor range. I shot in a 15-yard indoor range until I joined the Army. So, and all I did was I would put up multiple targets if I had the opportunity. But if not, I would run that one target stand all the way to the back of the range and run several different recoil management drills. Obviously, accuracy-based drills to make sure I'm hitting what I'm aiming at. But I would be able to work on different types of sight pictures, different types of trigger press, whether it's dot drills, 20 alpha drill that I run where I just simply draw the gun and shoot 5 rounds into the A zone holster and repeat for 4 times, trying to get all 20 A's underneath a par time of whatever you may want to push yourself with. But yeah, that's all you need is an indoor range. You come up with a plan and work on what I call the fundamentals of speed shooting. Other people may call them something different, but this is what I call the fundamentals of speed shooting. It's my recoil management, which is my stance and grip, which allows me to obviously shoot faster while remaining accurate so I can see the sights sooner, not just shooting faster for the sake of pulling the trigger quicker, but so I can see the sights faster, drawing from a holster, reloading, transitions, and movement. you can't get to the movement in that one single lane, but you can start moving your body around, going from target to target, even if it's just going from dot to dot on a single target that you can put up there. I would also recommend putting out, I used to go old school with it, man. I would get try to find a large refrigerator box, and I would cut it, and I would put 5 or 4 paper plates on that and hang that on the hanger and drive it back. And then I can kind of work, plate 1, 4, 3, 2, whatever the case is. I can go back and forth so my eyes can get exercises, as well as trying to find that transition of that next plate and looking for a specific spot in that plate. You can put dots inside the plate, numbers on the plate, so they're kind of reorganized, and a guy can say, hey, shoot 4, 3, 1, 2, and you just got to find the numbers. There's lots of things you can do there, but I would just say my non-negotiables in that indoor range would be the fundamentals of speed shooting: stance and grip being your recoil management, drawing from a holster if they allow you to draw. If they don't allow you to draw, find a new range. Magazine changes and transitions as well.
Right on. That's good stuff. You guys have any Q&A?
I was going to say, now I'll just expect you to make my stages every other week for putting on my indoor matches. So just expect an email every week from Max. Not a big deal.
Yeah, man. I loved it, dude. It was so much fun.
I like the paper plates deal where you can put numbers on them and have your buddy just shout out 3, 2, and 4. So you're working on those transitions and speed. It's almost like imitating a steel challenge match in a sense.
It's cool.
So there you go. I'm pretty clear on my side. I know Brennan Wright's blowing up the PM. I try to shoot the camera, yada yada. Brandon Wright, I know he's in Florida now. He should shoot that Smith & Wesson steel challenge match and maybe see if you could beat Max at it, man. That'll be awesome to see that duel. All right?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. All right. I'm pretty good. We'll run it down to shout-outs. Dustin, we'll start with you.
Yep, as always, Springfield Armory Custom Shop. X Products, use Dustin10 to get your 10% off of those guys. Tactical Shit for all your tactical shit needs. TSM10 gets you 10% off there. Comtech Holsters, Dustin1 gets you 10% off. Ryan Spencer, I know we talked about him. He makes one of the finest all-around awesome XDMs out there, XDs, so send them all your goodies, get them all decked out. Mike and Land at Dissident Arms for all your communist needs. BBI Bullets, Black Bullet International. H&M Black Nitride the World, because Black Nitride matters. RCA. Pro Ears. So technically, me and Max are teammates, because we both use Pro Ears.
See that?
I just stepped up my ranks now. So.
Are you going to put that on your resume?
Yeah, actually...
You can mention Max names in there. Hey, I run Pro Ears.
Like,
Max
hey,
runs Pro Ears.
Charles, me and Michel, man, that's it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll have a Pro Ears hat that's signed.
There you go, dude. Hey, it's a funny story. I seen somebody put on their resume, I beat Max on stage 6 at Alabama State or something like that. I'm like, why does that even matter, dude?
That's awesome.
Wow.
So Ruben and the Vortex guys over at Vortex, thanks for hooking me up on that stuff. J. Dewey Rods, Red Roof Inn, Greg Skaz, there you go, photography. I got some funny posts coming up with him in it. S3F Solutions and Tula Ammo. And then make sure you go hit up my social medias, and then the social medias I'm helping out. American Manufacturing, we're going to do some silencer stuff. As soon as I get mine in, it's going to be fun.
Nice. Yeah, I want to hear more about those cans that those guys are making over there.
Yeah, we're going to do a can giveaway, too. It's going to be win your set of cans.
Win your set of cans. Very, very nice. that SIG MPX that I should be getting in with a can, 9mm. What?
Pretty dirty. That's what I'm saying. That's how I'm going to run my X Products quarter circle 10. It's going to be a 10-inch setup SBR suppressed with a 50-round drum. What?
Yeah, you're talking really dirty right now, and it's Steve's turn. Steve, what do you got to shout out?
I don't know. Dustin said so many. I don't think I can really match that.
I know. Is there anything that hasn't been said
Dustin talks longer than everybody.
That was like pretty awesome. Like I feel like
he has a slogan to go with each one of his shout outs.
he like spoke for both of us. I feel pretty much good.
What happens when you're a marketing kid, man?
Yeah.
You know me, czforum.com, obviously. Come over and support the forum. If you shoot CZs or have an interest in them, check out czforum.com. Weapon Shield, my lubrication of choice for my firearms, and Boxfire Shooting over in Apopka, Florida. Check them out. They're on Facebook if you need some supplies. Try to help Larry out wherever I can, and they're good little shop there to get your reloading supplies. That's pretty much it, man. I'm easy.
There you go. That's why I went to you next, because I figured we'll give it a little bit of a space, because Jen's got a long list too. Jen, what do you have?
Yeah, but I don't talk nearly as long as you and Dustin do ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
you try to rush through them. You try to rush through
Says the girl.
Says the girl. Y'all take longer than me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have Savannah River Armory, Shooters of Augusta, and Sharpshooters of Augusta. Terran Tactical, Load Up Ammunition, Samson Manufacturing, Operation X, Lucas Oil, Blade Tech, Carbon Arms.
All right, your time's up. There you go.
Maybe that's
No,
All right, I'm going to play a timer for you. Let's see. How long should we give him?
no, we're
30
going to
seconds for Anthony?
we're going to Max first. We're going to go to Max. Max, what do you have? Shout outs.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Sig Sauer. They're the guys who took a chance on me 7 years ago when I was getting out of service. So I appreciate what they do for me in my career. It's been an amazing ride with them, and hopefully I'll be in there for a little bit longer. Double Alpha, guys who run my gear, holsters, pouches, belts, backpacks, you name it, they run it, and they do a damn good job at it. Hogue, Seymour, Max's Choice, obviously got to put that plug in there. Otis cleaning kits, I'm running a lot of their stuff. Mainly their ripcord is obviously pretty exceptional. So if you're running any sort of gear on the range for a long extended period of time and want to give it a quick cleaning, Otis is always there for me. Pro Ears, as Dustin mentioned, of course, we're teammates, so can't leave that out.
Yeah.
Taxi, targeted supplements. So if you're looking for something to promote eye health and focus and get better focus on the range, check out Taxi. They're also doing range bars now, which is really cool. So if you're one of those guys who say, I don't want to put supplements in my body for whatever reason, you can take a look at the range bars, and they keep me focused and keep me kind of keep me where I need to be on the range, mixing that with other nutritional products that I run and take care of my body with. Because a lot of folks forget about that. They take care of their gear, their guns, their ammo, and whatnot, but they forget to take care of themselves. So make sure you're eating properly on the range with that. Pila Performance Eyewear, it's a new eyewear company I hooked up with last year. Just started on the early developmental phases with some stuff, and now we finally have the new Panther X7 out there, which is the product that I developed. Took the shotgun world and what they did and what they made so great with the eyewear and kind of put that into the action shooting world and how it relates to what we do. MGM targets. I couldn't do what I do without them. Obviously, making the steel ring the way that I do, it's all because of them. They give me the opportunity to train at a high rate of speed, and the targets are there and always lasting for me. Also, GunDistrict.com. If you're not familiar with Gun District, if you're not familiar with Gun District go take a look at it and check it out. It's it's a social media platform that's fully about the Second Amendment. So if you're going to post something, if you're going to post a gun for sale, or if you're going to post anything in guns in general, they're not going to shut you down. In fact, they're going to promote it for you.
Yeah, I have a profile over at a Gun District. It's just hard to get those things going because there's so many different media sources, and there's more that keep coming up. Snapchat and Periscope and all these others. It's just, I don't know, just definitely check it out. I know a lot of people were upset with Facebook and what they did. You can no longer sell guns, whatever their thing, that's their deal. So Gun District's a good place for you guys to head over and check out. All right. On my side, I definitely want to thank Max for coming on for a second show. Max was like, dude, let's do another one. And I was like, sure, let's do it, over in Vegas. So he wanted to do another one, so that's great. That's great to have Max wanting to come on the show, so we appreciate it. If you want to email me, theshootersmindset@gmail.com is a good way to get a hold of me. Right below the video, you're going to see the subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe. Check out Making Masterclass. After the video, if you're not watching the live, after the video goes down, I put links to everybody's YouTube channel, so if you want to check out their individual stuff, you can go subscribe to them also. Tactical shit for all your tactical shit needs, like Dustin always plugs in there. I got a new one here, Gear Nation USA. They only have a Facebook page. Small company, man, a good friend of mine, just doing some 100% American-made apparel. So, really good shooting guy sayings on it. It's pro 2A stuff. Good stuff. Rise Armament, I got Dewey rods, and I'm going to cut it short here, and I'm just going to go ahead and say RAN CLP, since everybody here is sponsored by a different CLP or cleaning solution. I think RAN CLP is the best. I think you should use it. Don't listen to what Max says on this. All right. That'll do it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 124 of The Shooter's Mindset. Jen, Steve, Dustin, Max, thanks for the help with this, and we are out.